they have this term, take it straight out of the English language of who I am, what I am. Gay. Gay. Happy. And full of life. You know, it used to be that you're the life of the party. Now it just means I'm the brunt of every joke. I guess I remember being very, very young, a child, when I started having these feelings of being happy and full of life. Not really knowing what to do with them. So I shoved them deep and put a lid on all of them. As a teenager, I wasn't very happy, and I was not full of life at all. Matter of fact, I really couldn't convince myself that I wasn't gay. I truly believed that I would eventually just grow out. You know, I'd go through my terrible teens, and I'd surpass acne, and I'd get my driver's license, and I'd find a girl to settle down with. 2 out of 3 is not bad, right? So it continued. I didn't grow out. And I never really turned straight. I turned to people. Brad. We were best friends my entire life. All the way through college. College roommates. All the way to 4 years. He was the first person I told about my happy condition. Before that, I even lost count in family gatherings of how many times my Aunt Gertie would come to me and corner me and ask me where I was going to find that nice girl. But back to Brad. When I told him about my happy condition, he actually took it in stride. He strode right out of the dorm room, down 6 flights of stairs, right into his car, right in position like he was going to peel out the parking lot, and then stopped. And he walked right back upstairs, stood in the doorway of our room, and stared at me. Why? Was it because he was ready to find out what my reasons were and to listen? No. Instead, he looked at me straight in the face and said, if you ever breathe a word to one person that you seduce me into a friendship with a faggot, I will break both of your legs. Wow. Brad. What a guy. My next time I experienced a tolerance and understanding was in graduation. Maybe it was a pomp and circumstance. I tried to turn to my dad for support. I sat there at the stadium floor with all the other graduates, and I looked up in the crowd and I found my mom and dad and I waved at them. And it hit me. My father and I were virtual strangers. Maybe it was the emotion of the moment at the reception. Everybody was eating and drinking and being merry, and here comes Aunt Gertrude, ready to corner me. And that's when I thought, no, this is the moment. I need to do this. So I grabbed my father, we walked into a secluded room, I shut the door, I looked him straight in the face, and I said, Dad, I'm gay. You know, you never realize the impact that 3 words can affect a man that's a war hero. It was almost like I took an atomic bomb and blew it off of his life. His life ended right before my very eyes. I will spare you the gory details, but I will tell you this, Aunt Gertrude really doesn't bother me much anymore. That's when I turn to bars. Those unspeakable places where unspeakable people do unspeakable things. You know, get her straight, a bar is a bar. And there are limits to the camaraderie that you can build with a person in a place like that. There are limits to what you can do when you drink 5 to 6 rum and cokes, including the ability to walk and talk. So my next strategy was simple. Sobriety. Ordered my Coke, no rum, and I began to scan the crowd. I just wanted to find one person that I could finally, for the first time in my life, have a conversation with that understood where I came from, where I felt what I struggled with the feelings that I felt my entire life. Where they could listen to me and I would listen to them. And I found them. And you know, he had everything I would want in a one-on-one relationship. And I had everything he desired. A place to crash for 2 weeks. You know, I've known many homosexual couples that have had relationships for 15, 20, 25 plus years. I have socks that lasted longer than that. So now I'm depleted. I've exhausted every place to turn, every person to turn to. And all that's left now is bitterness, anger, resentment, and a lot of rejection. A lot of bitterness. And you know, lately I've been challenged. I've been challenged to turn to forget it. Okay, look. I have nothing to lose at this point. I've been challenged to turn to you, the church, to turn all of my bitterness over to Jesus Christ. He seems to think that I'm ready. But that's not really the question, is it? The question is, are you ready for me? Are you? Men, are you ready for me? If I were to tell you that I'm gay, would you listen? Really, really listen? Maybe? If I was to come sit next to you, or next to you, or next to you, would you feel completely uncomfortable? Or would it be all right? Maybe. Maybe I would ask you the tough questions. And maybe it would be all right by me that you don't have the answers for everything. And maybe it's okay if you say, I don't know. Instead of saying God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Maybe I'll be able to stand before you the same way that I stand before God. Just as I am. Maybe. I hope so. And maybe you hope so too.